Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nightmare Echoes. I'm your host, Eleazar. I'm joined again by co-host Jamie. Jamie, how's it going?
It is wonderful. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I'm excited because there is a movie that my kids are in. It's in
Ooh.
theaters right now,
Oh,
called The
nice.
Long Shot. There's a million movies called The Long Shot, but this one, it's about a golf course that's going out of business, and they apparently at one point have to do a fundraiser to try to help save it, and that's where my kids are in like a jumping playscape.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And then my wife went to go see it today just to confirm that you can see them. And it is blink and you'll miss it. You will, but if you know who they are. But the funny thing is, because it was filmed here in Austin, every family in that theater was under that same. Oh, there he is! Like,
yeah, yeah. They're all looking for their kid in that
yeah,
one scene.
exactly. Well, some of them are the actual adults that got to be extras in there too, which is
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
cool.
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So that's exciting random news.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Today we're talking about The Ritual, 2017. Went straight to Netflix, directed by David Bruckner. He's worked on the anthology movie called Southbound, The Signal, another anthology series called VHS, which I love. Steven and I covered the first one.
Is this the first?
The
Like
first
the first?
VHS, yeah. He worked on this segment called Amateur Night, which is the one where the guys pick up women from a bar and then one turns out to be like a siren, kills
Oh,
them all.
that's
It's pretty
interesting.
good.
Okay.
And then he also did the 2022 Hellraiser reboot, which Jesse and I recorded already, but it won't come out for months from now
Oh,
because we're just way ahead. It was written by Joe Barton, who also worked on Colossal.
all right. I found that it actually is based on the book The Ritual by Adam Neville. And I actually had this on my wish list on Audible for a while. So I think I took it off because it was hard for me. I didn't like the person who reads it.
Narrator?
Yeah, there you go. That's yes. I didn't like the voice of the narrator, but he is like an English writer who's known for supernatural horror. And I came across him because I was looking for like folklore type horror stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, this does kind of fall into that because it goes into like when I was looking into it, it does include at least one big like Swedish folklore story that I'll mention later.
Okay. The cast, we have Ralph Spall, who plays Luke. He's been in Prometheus, Life of Pi, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. There's a Black Mirror episode. Ashir Ali, who plays Phil. He was in a Doctor Who episode. Under the Lake, Eye Before the Flood. Those are the names of the Doctor Who episodes. And then something called The Missing and Industry. Robert James
Oh.
Collier plays Hutch. He was in Downtown Abbey, Mercenaries, and Spike Island. And Sam Throton plays Dom. He was in Game of Thrones, The Snowman, Warhorse, and one of the Alice in Wonderland. I don't know which ones.
Oh.
But you're right, because there's a lot of those.
Yeah, it's very true.
It has an estimated budget of $1 million, and it says that it made 1.78 internationally. I know that it went straight
Ooh.
to Netflix here in America, so they must have played in some theaters.
Oh, okay. Do they not really make that much money, like if it just goes straight to Netflix?
So if Netflix makes it for themselves, it's hard to measure that, right? They could talk about the views it
Yeah.
got, but
Oh,
it's
that's
not like the
right,
movie's
because
going to
you're...
get credited for your monthly subscription.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So the movie starts at a bar. We have five friends, which are Phil, Dom, Hutch, Luke, and Rob. Luke brings around a drink to the table. He's a complete dick to Dom, who's like, "Hey, where are the chips?" And he says that the guy in the bar looked at Dom and said, "Oh, that guy's not allowed to have chips anymore."
Yeah. Yeah, that was messed up.
And then they start planning everywhere they would want to do a guy's trip out, right? Phil recommend
Ibiza.
Ibiza, right? Which is a Spanish island in the Mediterranean Sea. But Rob says they're too old. And I would say the reason not to go to Ibiza is because of the zombie outbreak that happened the year before in the movie Ibiza Undead, also known as Zombie Spring Breakers, which is funny, depending where you
Oh,
live. It's a different title.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see both. They both make sense.
Yeah, well, if you don't know what Ibiza is, you're probably not going to go to the movies to watch that over a movie called Zombie Spring Breakers.
That's fair. I just know Ibiza because of the song "I Took a Bill in Ibiza," and yeah, that's
Yeah.
about it.
I've been listening to Lemon Pound Cake. Have you heard this song?
I mean, I don't think so.
Do you know the song Because I Got High, Afro Man?
Yeah.
So Afro Man a couple years ago had his house broken into by the
Oh.
sheriff's department, who was convinced that he had a dungeon in a basement in a house that doesn't have a basement. Like you could see under the house. Like that's part of the case they were talking about. You could see under the house, and you could see that you could crawl through there. We would have to be able to see where the basement went.
Yeah, like you could see like on the ground between the ground and the house.
So when he was out performing, they broke into his house with a warrant, destroyed everything, destroyed his
Oh
gate,
my
destroyed his
god.
door, left it wide open. After they're throwing all of his stuff around and destroying all this stuff, they notice that there's cameras everywhere. So they start unplugging cameras. They didn't get them
What?
all. And one camera records a sheriff staring longingly at this cake that his mom made him.
Oh my god.
And like there's a whole music video about
This
this
sounds
sheriff,
so
and
familiar.
it's making the news right now. And for those
That's
that
funny.
watching this later, we're recording this in March, so like
Yeah.
it's making the news now. And in the court case, the guy, he had to prove his case that it was defamation of character because he used the footage of them breaking into their house. And in the song that he put out, because he put out several songs, he talks about that he ate the cake, like all he wanted to do was eat a slice of cake. But he also talks
Yes.
about like sleeping with the guy's wife and like all these other things. And so in court, you have to prove, for it to be defamation, you have to prove that a sane person, the average person, would think it was real. So the other
Oh my
lawyer's like,
god.
you really think people think that he slept with your wife? I don't know. I don't even know if my wife slept with him or not. It's possible. And I'm like, dude,
What?
it's such bullshit. Like I was laughing. So I've just been jamming to that song all day. You know, it's on
That's
TikTok.
pretty funny.
Everybody's
I
posting it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have seen it. Like I googled it and I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I don't remember how it sounds at all, but
Yeah. Well,
it looks familiar.
if I sing it, I have to edit it out anyway
Yeah.
because we
That's
can't have
true.
songs play.
Yeah. No, copyright.
All right. Yeah. Right. So then Luke brings up Amsterdam, which is the capital and largest city of the Netherlands, but Hutch says it's too touristy. But again, I would say that they didn't mention the lion that escaped the year before and killed a lot of people in the Dutch film called Prey. I wouldn't want to go there. You know, Don
Yeah.
brings up Tuscany. Phil says they have good wine. And I'm
Yeah.
going to continue this joke for a while, but that's where the family who is meeting people to bring back to their home meets people in the original Speaking No Evil 2022 is in Tuscany. So watch out for friendly couples inviting you to dinner. Phil mentions Berlin, and Luke says 9, which it doesn't take a lot for me to be like, why would I not go to Berlin? Dom says Belgium, and Luke says that no one has ever gone there by choice. But I looked up some things about Belgium because obviously someone's going to want to go there. Apparently, they have really preserved medieval architecture, world-renowned chocolate, and exceptional beer culture.
Yeah, and I would absolutely go just for the chocolate because I love chocolate.
Yeah. But there's a famous case of possession that happened in 1981, documented in the film called Possession.
It's a documentary.
Yeah, it's a documentary. All films are documentaries.
Yeah, of course.
That's what aliens think. When they see our films, they're like, this place is messed up. Stay clear.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we're safe.
Right? Then Rob says they should go hiking in Sweden, and you can tell Dom doesn't like that idea at all because of the hiking. And I don't have to do a lot of research for why Five Guys would want to go to Sweden. I jokingly said because the women, like Swedish women. All right, let's go to Sweden. But the reasons not to go are because of the amazing films like Midsummer and the cults that are there, and the vampires that we find out in Let the Right One In. So that's
Oh,
scary. And then a more modern one was The Conference.
I still haven't seen that one. Yeah, I would love to live in Sweden. I think it's beautiful, and I honestly I loved watching Midsummer because it was so beautiful. And there were so many flowers. There's so many nice flowers. I honestly was going to say the trees too, but yeah, that's a big part in this one.
Look how massive this thing is. This is the
Oh, is that...
director's cut of Midsummer. And
Oh,
if you compare it
wow.
to
Jeez.
a regular size Blu-ray,
Yeah, I was like, that looks like a book.
it's well, there's a book in it. It's
Oh,
massive.
okay. That's pretty cool.
I also love Midsummer.
Yeah, I really liked that one.
Margot did not.
Oh, why not?
We covered it, but she refused to rewatch it. She was traumatized. She said it just
Oh,
messed her up.
dang. That's fair. It's a pretty messed up movie.
Anyway, after the bar, after they leave the bar, they're still talking about this trail where you would hike on, and it's the King's Trail, which runs between Sweden and Norway. So after they leave, Luke is wanting to get a bottle of alcohol because he's not done partying, even though everybody else is like, hey, we have families, we have jobs. No one wants to go with them, but Rob finally at least agrees to go buy the alcohol with him so he doesn't have to go buy it alone. And inside, Phil's complaining about the trip, and Phil says that Rob wanted to have the conversation over avocados and toast because that sounded good and they didn't have to get drunk. There's no reason that they had to do it late at a bar, is what he's saying.
Yeah, that's
And then
fair.
while they're there, they're so in their own world that they don't notice that there's this woman who works there beat up and bloody on the ground. And so when they see that, they realize this place is getting robbed. Luke goes and hides really fast, leaving his friend there alone. And while he does look down at the alcohol bottle that is in his hands for a little bit, like maybe I could hit them with that, by the time he thinks he's going to act, it's too late because his friend gave his wallet, his watch up, and then when he wouldn't give up his wedding ring, because, I mean, any man is like, I know that my wife
That's
wants
my
me to have
wedding
that ring. Why
ring.
would I lose that ring? That's my wedding ring. Like, I'll give
Yeah,
you
but
everything
like,
else. Let me keep this.
I don't know. I would just be like, can you just like it's just an object. I'm still here.
Right,
But
exactly. So unfortunately, he is killed with a machete.
yeah, that was crazy.
The guys run off, and all that is trauma. We find out that this is a dream. He wakes up, and they're in Sweden because that's where their deceased friend wanted to take the trip.
I think that was really nice that they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go here. Yeah, just to honor him because everything that happened.
Yeah.
I think that is really nice of them to do that.
And we find out that they have just woke up from their first night overnight, and they have 2 more nights to finish their journey where they're going to end up in this log cabin. Although Hutch thinks that he would want to walk around some more, do some more hiking once they get there to make the most out of it. But they find this spot where they kind of set up a shrine for their friend Rob. They put a picture there and some of his belongings. And they each take a swig of alcohol, and then Hutch pours out the entire rest of the bottle, which I think
Yeah,
is hilarious.
is that normal? Like, are you supposed to pour out the entire rest of it? Because I thought it was just
I
like
don't.
enough for one drink's worth.
Yeah, I guess on rewatch, I see that they leave the bottle. So
Oh,
I
that's
guess if
fair.
as part of the shrine, not that I think the shrine would survive forever, but
Right.
if you left a
That's
bottle of alcohol and someone found it, they're just going to take your bottle of alcohol.
that's true.
But if it's empty, maybe they'll leave the empty bottle.
Yeah, yeah. It was funny that Phil just kind of looked at it because it was taking a long time, and I was like, "This is kind of awkward," and you can tell they kind of felt the
Yeah.
same.
So this shrine was not near where they woke up on the first night. It's actually near where they're going to sleep for the second night. They do camp. The next morning when they wake up, it's really heavy rainfall. Dom is hating this. He's the more heavy-set guy. This is the one that the guy joked around that he should have a salad instead of chips. And he's going around saying how Sweden can lick his bridge. He's trying to talk about the piece of skin between the base of his scrotum and his anus, which I always knew, and Phil mentions is called the perineum. What'd you call it?
The gooch. No, he called it the gooch.
Oh, is that what he
He
called
was
it, the
like,
gooch? Okay.
yeah, he's like, his bridge. And Phil's like, lick your bridge. He's like, yeah, the bridge, the gooch. And I was like, that's hilarious.
See, I would think the piece between your under your nose and your lip is the bridge. You know,
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes
right?
much more sense.
Right. I was like, what the heck, right? So so that's when Dom steps in a big hole and you could hear a crack. He just falls over. It is a really big hole. It's crazy. The
Yeah.
friends all think he's overacting. It sounds like they have a history with him maybe being like a little lazy, or
Mm.
they just think he's an overactor or exaggerating because they go to the side and say that if we're not careful, we're going to be carrying him on our shoulders like a princess. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. I just think that, he was asking Sweden to lick his bridge, so that's just what it was doing. Uh, just had to
That is
bring him
pretty
down
funny.
closer.
Yeah. Careful what you wish for. Yeah.
Right?
So they have another 6 hours until they camp this day, and then another 8 hours the next day before they would normally get to their destination. But Dom's saying that there's no way he's walking 14 hours on his injured knee. While they're having this conversation about worried that they're going to carry him, they realize that there's a shortcut if they go through the woods. And Dom is saying, hey, if there's a shortcut, we can go faster. Let's just do it. Let's go through the woods. Not everybody seems excited about this because there's a
Yeah, I
trail
wouldn't.
people go through normally. I mean, it sucks. Like, you can't just leave your friend there and be like, we'll bring back help, because then that's 4 days of walking instead of two.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to like just not like if I was injured, I would rather walk on a path that I feel like, would be easier to walk on as I'm injured than trying to go through some forest that has trees all over and like I don't know, a little river.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I agree. I
Yeah.
also wonder if food was a factor. In the movie,
Oh,
they only have so much food. So if your friend's walking slow enough, and let's say best case
yeah.
scenario, it doubles your trip. Like instead of
Dang.
2 days, it becomes 4 days. You're gonna have to start rationing out food, or hunt something.
Oof.
If you're not prepared for that,
Right. Yeah.
maybe
We
that's
definitely
the
are not.
influence. But I know that shortcuts aren't great. It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
crazy idea.
I agree.
So, but they agree to go. They're going to the forest, and even though they're doing this for Dom, he's still acting like an asshole here. Because when Hutch is
Yeah.
sincerely asking how his knee is, he's like, "How's your mom?" And Hutch is like, "That's unnecessary."
Yeah. I'm
'Cause
like,
he
God, this
says it
guy's
in a
really.
way,
Yeah.
yeah, he says it in a way that sounds like "fuck your mom," even though he's like, "How's your
Yeah.
mom?" I was like, I don't know, it's crazy. Dom's complaining that they should have gone to Vegas, and they all say, "Yeah, well, you would have found a way to trip on something in Vegas." But Dom says, "Yeah, but I would land in a massive pile of tits." I'm like, dude,
Jesus.
really?
And he's married with kids.
So, I mean, I guess men talk is, they talk about it, right? Locker room talk. It gets vulgar. It's crazy, but come on, dude. These guys are already annoyed with you.
Honestly, yeah.
This is the first
Yeah.
evidence here that someone has gone to these woods and never come back out, because they do find an old Volkswagen van. Phil overshares a sex story that took place in one of those, but it's kind of evidence like, why did they abandon it?
Yeah, and so I can't tell who says it, but someone does say like, "Oh, strange place to park, in it?" And like, to me, I just thought of the meme that goes around that people are like, sir, you can't park there." Like when someone gets into an accident, like they hit a tree or something. that's
I didn't
that's
know
all I
about
could
this
think of.
meme. I wish I knew about it a week ago, because someone hit our power line going
Oh
on a
God.
45-mile-hour road, and they went too hard, too fast.
Jeez.
And so we were out of power for like 3 hours.
Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're like,
I told work, hey, if I don't show up on time in the morning, it's because I don't have an alarm. Like, I'm not
that's
gonna
fair.
wake up in time. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was too crazy.
Yeah, that would be
So
hilarious. After this RV part, they are walking like right into the forest, but as soon as they do walk into the forest, Hutch just looks at his compass and it just like stops. It's not working. And to me, that's like a big red flag. He just shrugs it off, but I'm like, that's always a bad sign that like something's going on. I feel like in movies it's always like, hey, something bad's gonna happen. And he's just like, whatever. And I'm just like, why don't you tell anybody? You don't tell anybody this as soon as you cross the lines into the trees. And I don't know. That's scary to me.
yeah, that does seem scary. So they notice how quiet the forest is. Hutch tells them to soak up the sound. Dom's complaining still that the path is even harder now, but it was his idea. He was like, I can do it if it's
Yeah,
shorter. And that drives me nuts. Like, I know people like this,
exactly.
no matter what you do for them, they always see the negative, and
Hmm.
that's frustrating.
It's kind of annoying, so I don't blame you.
They do take a group picture. Hutch is like, hey, let's make the best of this situation. This reminds me of The Descent, although in The Descent, we really focus on the picture, and it's kind of ominous, like, oh, some of these people aren't going to make it. I think that's kind of
Oh,
cool.
that's fair. That makes sense. Yeah, I did wish we kind of did see the picture, because when he first takes a picture of just Phil just standing there on the rock, and he's like, "Oh, let's take a picture right there." He's just points into the distance and says, "Look at that over there." I thought that was really funny.
That is funny.
Okay, so in this next scene, where like they're just walking through some trees and stuff. I think the way that they use their camera is super cool. I don't know the terminology for it, but like it makes the trees look like they're a lot more dense than they are, and like that you cannot walk through them. Slowly you just see like kind of movement between them, and for me, like that scared me at first. And I'm just like, "Oh my god, what's that?" It's just them. But but I feel like they made it.
That's funny.
They made it really good, I guess. Their camera work was amazing.
They have a scene where Dom, of course, because we're saying he's complaining about everything. He's talking about how his stomach's going to start eating itself. This is why I think that they're running low on food.
Smart,
They all
yeah.
talk about the different kind of food that they would have if they could have food right now. I totally can get that. Like, you're trying to think of the motivations to get out of there. Luke says he would like a kebab and clarifies that he wants a shish kebab. Dom reminds everybody how Dom reminds everybody how Rob loved a doner kebab, which I had no idea what it was, but it's a Turkish
Yeah.
dish, seasoned meat, traditionally lamb, but it's also chicken or beef, and it's stacked in a cone shape or vertical rosary. No, that's not the right word.
Rotisserie.
Rotisserie. Thank you. I had to look that up. I was like, I don't think I've ever had that, a
Yeah.
doner kebab.
I've heard of it, but I didn't think to look it up. I don't know why, but I mean, it sounds good.
Yeah. I guess I wasn't hungry when I was typing the notes. Because if I'm hungry while I'm typing the notes, I'm going to look up all about the food.
Well, after they are talking about Rob loving like the doner kebab and everything, they're just reminiscing about Rob, and it kind of makes Luke sad again. So they get kind of quiet. And then they just look up and they see that there is a stag that's just hanging between some trees that's like opened. It's cut open. Yeah, they're like, who would do that? Like, what would do that, pretty much? And then you can see, like, Luke points out that it is still bleeding, so it's fresh, and they should get out of there.
They also talk about maybe a bear did it, but there's no way a bear could hang something up like that
Right.
unless the
Yeah.
bears in Sweden have like opposable thumbs and are teaming up with koalas we didn't know were there or something,
Hey, you never know.
Yeah. I mean, anything, I guess. Yeah. So we get to the third night. There's a big thunderstorm rolling in. It starts downpouring a lot. Of course, Dom's complaining the loudest. Hutch says they should pitch a tent, but that means they're going to get back later than they planned. Luke sees some ruins on a tree, which remind me of Hereditary. The group looks, and we see a cabin very close. And this is where I like to joke that, I mean, have these people not seen The Evil Dead, Cabin in the Woods, or Cabin Fever? Because
Yeah.
nothing good ever comes from entering a random cabin, planned or
Like,
unplanned,
surrounded
like in
by
the middle
trees.
of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there was actually, when I was in high school, I think, I went to this big park with my friends. It was night. I don't know why we went there so late at night. It was pitch black, and they're like, yeah, come on, there's this little, like, they call it a little witch's house, in these trees back here. And yeah, there definitely was. And I was like, there's no way I'm going back there. I'm going to get killed. So me and my friend stood in the park area still, like in the open. Two of our friends went in the trees to go look at the witch's house. And I don't know what happened, but all I know is, yeah, it could not be me. I would be like, I'll see you guys at the cabin. I will walk the path.
Absolutely, right? So they look around to see if it looks empty. They end up breaking in. Inside, it looks abandoned. They see a fireplace. Someone jokes like, this is clearly the house we get murdered in. So they know. They know that this is a bad idea. They do see a rifle hanging there, which is a Pennsylvania flintstock rifle. It's a really old gun. Like maybe a century old.
Wow.
They're looking around. They don't like it here, but they're saying it's the lesser of two evils. They could sleep outside in the rain and tents, or they could sleep in here. And they're willing to burn half the place down to keep themselves warm. So they start breaking apart some of the wall to get some wood out to start the stove. They argue over who should go upstairs. it's Phil who ends up going upstairs. They say because he's the closest. And
Oh God.
Dom is like, oh, what, are you scared? I'm like, Dom, shut up. You couldn't get up the stairs with your knee anyway. Don't even try
Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, I am scared.
it. Yeah, so what of it?
Right.
Uh, so up there, Phil finds this room, and inside is a weird statue. It's hard to describe the shape. It kind of to me looks like a human shape if the hands were antlers instead of hands, and there's no head, just a long neck.
Yeah. And like, but the antlers are like, the arms are like holding up the antler hand things where they would be if the head was there and attached, like the antlers were attached
Yeah.
to the head. So as they're walking away from the room, Luke is the last one to leave the room, and he just looks and he notices that there's like chicken feet at the bottom of the statue. Like the bottom of the statue is just chicken feet. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of like Baba Yaga's house. I don't know if you know who Baba Yaga is. She's just like a witch that sometimes she helps adventurers, but she also likes to play tricks on them to, make sure they are good heroes. Her house, she like lives in a little hut in the forest that moves on chicken legs. Like it has chicken legs that it just walks up on, and it can actually move between the dimension of the living and the dimension of the dead. And I'm like, this is crazy because it always has a stove, and I feel like that's something they mentioned as soon as they went in. They're like, oh hey, they have a stove, and Baba Yaga's house always has a stove, and it's always on chicken feet. Like those are just two very distinct things about it. I just thought that was really cool. And it's a very like Swedish folklore thing, and they're in Sweden. I was like, that's really interesting. I'm glad that was in there.
That is cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And also, Phil's the first to say that it's witchcraft, and Dom gets pissed at him because Dom is visibly scared. Even though he's like, what, Phil, are you scared? Now you can tell he's scared because anytime someone brings up something supernatural in this movie, Dom's like, shut up, stop talking.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
He definitely is traumatized and doesn't want to talk about it at all.
Later, they sit by the fire. Their clothes are hanging. I guess their wettest clothes, like they changed out of their clothes. We can see there's more of these symbols, but they're like made out of like craft materials, kind of like I guess they carved them out of wood from the local forest.
It looks like
or
tree
something.
branches or something too.
They joke about burning the cabin after they leave. They think that's the best thing to do, which I'm like, dude, if this is someone's house and they're going to come back and you burn it down, you're being assholes.
Yeah, honestly.
I know it's creepy, but don't be assholes.
Seriously, like this isn't even your house. You already tore down the insides to light a fire.
That was the motto that Margot said for Midsummer, was like, basically, if you're not an asshole, everybody that was dying is because they did something stupid and were being an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
I pissed on your sacred tree. How was I supposed to know it was a sacred tree?
I mean, you were
maybe go to the
right?
bathroom, dude. Like, walk to the bathroom. Anyway, so as they sleep, we zoom into that statue, and then the forest outside, we hear some random knocking. Then a bright light shines on Luke's face. It wakes him up. He looks like, to him, it might be like, is it daylight already? He tries to wake up Hutch, but he just goes to the door on his own. When he goes outside, he's inside the liquor store. And he's going straight to the same vodka bottle. There's a lot of imagery here. One small cool detail is that the floor of the liquor store is grass and moss, so we know he's still in the forest.
Right.
He hears some whispers,
really cool.
which are coming from the employee area. Yeah. There's a stabbing sound here.
Yeah, there is. So he sees the blood inside the bottle, and I was like, oh, there's a stabbing sound. It was like, and I was like, oh. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. Thank you. That's what so that's when the shelves get yanked back and the store vanishes, leaving him in the forest. So it's daytime here. He looks down and he spots on his shirt that there's blood from 5 holes in his chest. They seem to form a pentagon. Inside, he hears a scream. He runs inside to see Hutch first, who seems like he's having his own nightmare, and he looks like he wet himself. Then he sees Dom, who's sitting up in the corner like he's stuck in a nightmare. Small detail here, if you look at his knee, when he isn't wearing pants, it looks really red, and it might be infected.
Yeah. I was wondering, like, can it get infected from, like, twisting it if it's not opened?
I don't
I
know.
know. I mean, anything can happen in this forest, honestly. So,
It looks bad though.
yeah, it
Like
definitely
so,
does.
I know they all give him a hard time, and he is a complainer, so maybe he deserves to have a hard time. But that lead looked bad.
Yeah,
But
and
then they
it seems
run
like it only gets
upstairs.
worse. Hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's never gonna get arrested.
Yeah,
They run
yeah.
upstairs, and they find Phil, and he's sitting locked, or he's kneeling locked in like a prayer position, and I have to actually wake him
Hmm.
up, and he doesn't know where he is or what the f is going on.
Yeah, that was freaky.
So they all rush to get out of the house. A couple of them, like while they're freaking out, still inside tying their shoes. Some of them are already outside, and they find way more runes on the trees when now that it's daylight and they could see it. Dom finds a path and decides to go that way without any of the group agreeing because they know the direction of the lodge. They believe the compass is telling them which way to go,
Their
but
broken compass.
you know, I guess you could also go with the direction of the sun, right?
Yeah,
Where you're
yeah,
at.
true.
So, although those trees are tall. But anyway,
uh,
Dom is convinced that a path means civilization. So, Phil's the first to follow. And even though the others don't want to go, they're just not going to abandon their friends. So, they follow down that path anyway.
yeah. Yeah, they're good
They're
friends.
trying to, yeah, sort of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. Well,
On the
some of
path,
them.
they're trying to, some right, some more than others, sure. They mean well. On the path, they're trying to figure out what happened, but Dom doesn't want to talk about it.
I think Luke was told him like, "Well, you were screaming your wife's name, like you were screaming for Gail. What was that about?" Or something like that.
Oh,
Because he's
yeah, yeah,
saying
yeah.
like
But he
he
doesn't
doesn't
want to hear
want to
about
talk
it.
about it. Yeah, yeah.
Hutch is embarrassed because he woke up having peed himself, and he insults Phil by calling him a little girl to get him to shut up.
Yeah, it doesn't
Which I
work
think,
though, because he's just like, because first he's like, I would never do that. I'd never do that, you guys. And then he's like, goes off on him, and he just goes silent. He's like, I would never do that. That's like, that's funny.
yeah, and then they come across another cabin, and all of them don't want to go anywhere near that thing.
They learn their lesson, yeah.
Yeah. Tom rushes on without letting Luke get a word in on the right direction, and then he pushes himself too hard, and he needs a break. So, like, they're like trying to tell him, like, Hutch, who seems like the voice of reason through most of this movie, is like, "Come
Hmm.
on, man, maybe you just gotta push through the pain a little bit." But Dom's like, "Go fuck yourself.
Pretty
My
much,
leg
yeah.
hurts. You're just gonna have to wait." Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, damn,
So
he's really calling all the shots here. First he gets hurt, then he's like, we're gonna cut through the forest. And then he chooses a random direction to go after they leave the cabin. He's just calling all the shots. I feel like everything's his fault.
So Luke takes it upon himself to run up a ridge, and he's supposed to come right back. As he's up there, it's like a really flat area, but there's a lot of thin trees, but no discernible way out. So he screams fuck, rests against a tree. He looks at his chest wound, and then in the distance, he hears something, but we can't see too well in the trees. We zoom in to see what looks like human fingers grabbing a tree, which they do let go, but they're like way up in the tree. Like no one's that tall.
Yeah. Yeah, but it does look like just a person. Like, it looks like it would be the arm of like an average height person, but it's super high up there. So that was really freaky.
Yeah.
I tried to slow it down
Yeah.
and see if I could find anything, and I was like, I can't see anything. It's just the hands.
Yeah. So he runs back to report that there's something big up there. Dom, who is scared, tells him they all agree not to lose their shit. Like he's trying to say that you didn't see anything, you're just going crazy. He's just trying to get him to shut up, which
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
He then shows him all his chest wound. Dom freaks out the most, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So Luke says they wouldn't be here for him, meaning they're in the woods because of Dom's knee injury. But Dom replies that no, they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Luke, because Luke didn't jump up to stop the death of their friend Rob. Which, I mean, he wasn't armed. I mean, he could have died in the process. But Dom is basically calling him a coward. Hutch is telling Dom to shut up. The whole group gets quiet as like Luke claims not to know what he's talking about. Dom's saying that Luke's a coward, and Luke is saying that their friendship is over. Like they're After
Right.
this, they're completely done.
I believe Luke, he punched him. He punched him
Okay.
because this was right after Dom had said, yeah, Rob had his skull cracked in half and you came out without a drop of blood on you. And that's why he's saying he's a coward because like, oh, you didn't stand up to like defend him or anything. And yeah, like this is, I don't know, to me it's such a hard situation because like we saw what happened. So like sure, like yeah, we know that he didn't actually like get up in time to do anything for his friend, but he did think about it. And honestly, in that situation, I can't say what I would do. I feel like nobody can really say what they would do unless they
Right.
are in that situation. Because you can say you would do whatever, but in the situation, that's really scary. It's just insane because all the other guys weren't there. They didn't see what happened, and like we did, but they're giving him like especially Dom just giving him such a hard time when it's like sure if he did go out and like try to fight to protect him, like sure maybe he could have saved Rob's life or they could have lost two friends that night instead and then not.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's a really tough situation, and I feel really
Yeah.
bad for all of them really at this point, but I feel bad for Luke too because that's he didn't want that to happen, and it's not his
Right.
fault. Yeah.
And Hutch, trying to be the voice of reason as ever, is trying to tell them they need to be working together and not falling apart. But Luke takes this upon himself to run into the trail without the others.
Yeah.
Hutch does catch up to him, and Luke asks what he thinks, and the only thing he can say is that he doesn't know what he thinks. And so Luke
Yeah.
continues to walk off. Later, the group is actually walking together, and then they stop because they see some type of fabric. And what ends up happening here is they pull out a tent, and they even find a wallet with a credit card that expired in 1984 for Anna Erickson. And so that means that someone got lost here decades ago, which is not a good sign for them. Like if someone,
Yeah.
well, why would they leave their tent? Why would they leave their shoes? Would you walk off without your shoes?
Yeah.
That seems bonkers.
Right. Your
And
whole
so,
wallet was there. So.
right. And so they think though that when they don't show up at the lodge that night, that someone will come out looking for them. But like, how are they going to find them? They left the path,
Right.
even
Yeah.
if they were going to go look for them.
And there is all those trees in the forest, so if they did send like helicopters or anything, it would still be hard to find them.
Yeah, it's not like they brought flares,
Yeah.
you know.
Dang.
So it's night 4, and it appears that no one can sleep. Hutch shares a half bar of food with Luke, who says he's looking forward to the rescue party. Hutch tells him that Dom's knee is getting worse and Phil isn't doing so well. Hutch tells Luke that he's the strongest and he should probably go on alone to get help while he stays with the other two. Luke seems to agree, and Hutch goes over to look at Phil's feet. His feet are just really bad.
Yeah, he mentioned
And
bring the
so,
wrong shoes earlier.
oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is where Luke hears something in the woods. Luke is in his tent looking at his supplies. He hears something outside. He turns off his light, and we hear one of the tents unzip and something roars. Luke reluctantly unzips his tent, and when he looks to his left, he sees the liquor store again with Rob inside, who has his hands up. It's crazy because all the shelves are at different elevations, as if they were built in the forest, and he watches as his friend is killed again. He sees the killer grabbing the ring, and he looks up and whispers the word coward.
Yeah.
When he hears a massive creature walking behind his tent, he ducks back inside, but looking out, he sees another tent get yanked into the air. He then hears screaming and wakes up. Phil is in a prayer position again, screaming. Phil screams and points toward Hutch's tent, which is now empty, and Phil can't explain what he saw, but saying it was only shadows, and Luke wakes up Dom to tell him that Hutch is gone. That's when Hutch's screams are in the distance, and we hear the creatures growl before Hutch screams one more time.
Yeah, like that last scream where like we put Hutch did scream one more time. I really thought like that was just the monster's sound that they were making, but like
Oh,
imagining it as his scream, it honestly could go either way. If it was his scream though, that definitely was his last scream because that was like
oh
a
yeah.
life-ending scream. So, it would make sense either way.
So Luke runs off to search for Hutch, screaming his name, while both Dom and Phil try to tell him that they could easily get lost and they should come back and mark their path. And it takes a bit to get him to turn back, but he does agree to find their tents and then they come back. Although we cut to that being the morning, and I don't think they ever found their tents
Yeah.
because they're out of supplies at this point. They don't have backpacks for the rest of the movie. They don't have their tents. So I think
Yeah,
they got lost here.
they were just like
They
hanging out by
do
some
find Hutch
trees.
hanging in a tree. His med section is gutted, blood still dripping off of him. They all freak out, but somehow they get his body down. I like, how would you get your friend out? They don't have an axe to cut the tree down. They would have had to have climbed.
Yeah,
That's
they
kind
were
of
nearly like
crazy.
going to
But they
throw
find,
up as they were talking or just seeing him. So I don't know how they were able to touch him to get him down because Luke was like kind of had blood on him too after the fact.
they're able to recover the compass and the knife, but he doesn't have the map. But we saw that it was his intent earlier, but since they lost that, they don't have it
Mm.
anymore. Dom wants to bury him, but they really don't have the energy or resources to do it. So Dom starts grabbing sticks to cover him up. So that's the best they have. They argue a little bit more because they know that this creature out there wanted them to find him and he wants them to be scared.
Yeah, that's insane. Because like if it's just like an animal or something, it wouldn't do
Mm-hmm.
this. It would be killing for like, I don't know, food or something, but it's just playing around, just messing around.
So after the body's covered, Dom wants them all to say something, but Luke says it's going to come back and they need to go.
Yeah, and Dom's leg's definitely getting bad because he can't even bend it at this point.
On their walk, Phil's convinced that they're being followed since the house. He doesn't actually know what he saw that night. Luke says he did see it. It looked like the trees and it was really big. Dom, of course, doesn't want to believe it. He thinks it's just pagan humans and starts yelling that there are people in those houses and those people killed his friend. Luke wants him to keep his voice down. He says that he has a knife in case, but they're going to continue going the direction that Hutch said would get them out of the forest.
Yeah.
They come across some dirty water. They all drink it because they're freaking thirsty. They do see footprints walking down from this creek. Dom's like really excited because he's right. Like there's definitely people, and he thinks it's just there's nothing supernatural.
Right, but like even if there's people, that's not always a good sign.
Yeah, right. People can be scary too.
Yeah.
As they go up at this tree, in a blink and you miss it shot, you could see something in the trees is walking.
Oh, okay. I I paused this and replayed it so many times because I was like, I swear I see something. And it's crazy because I was looking directly at it. Um
Yeah.
but you do kind of see it looks kind of like a giant elk a little bit, but like really hunched also. And that's all you really see. You don't see any features of it. But to me, I was thinking like, oh, this looks really familiar, like this other creature that maybe it was just a drawing that I've seen or something because I couldn't find anything on it. But it looked like, yeah, like some decaying giant elk creature that for some reason I remember it having like a tattered cloth on its back, but really long, bony legs and really big horns. But
Yeah.
it's not what this is. Not entirely.
So on this hill, Phil slides down this mud and is scared when Luke is there really fast to help him back up. Phil doesn't want to go up and sounds like he's already defeated because the creature is in his head and he can't get him out, which was terrifying to me.
Yeah.
They struggle, make it to a stop. Luke is pulling Phil up by the hand. Dom falls over to take a breather, and Luke looks off in the distance and sees the end of the forest. He turns to tell Phil, but it looks like he's already on his knees again, maybe praying.
Yeah, I think he just looks like he's given up. Like he's just beat.
Yeah. Luke runs up a bit, and while there are a lot of trees still, he yells to tell them that he can see the end, and he is relieved because Hutch was right. Then he notices some small fires in the distance and goes back to tell the others. When he gets back, he sees Phil with a flashlight who says he heard something right before he's grabbed by something massive and
It looks like a big old alien. It like, it looked like it had the big like gray giant head also when I saw it and I was like, ah.
that's funny. So Luke jumps to the ground and looks to see that Phil's flashlight hits the ground and hears a big growl. He runs away right into a tree, knocking himself down and putting himself into a daze. When he opens his eyes, he's back in that darn liquor store and now he's got a big cut in his head. He sees Rob crawling this time, and he runs out of the store to see his friends waiting on the street. Phil holds up a flashlight, which falls to the floor, which turns to the ground of the forest.
Yeah, that was a trippy little scene, but I really enjoyed it,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, it was done well. It was.
Yeah.
Luke picks up the flashlight, calls out for Dom, but he hears the creature. It seems like it's moving. He's trying to find it with the flashlight. Then he sees Dom hiding. Dom is whispering, and he says that he doesn't know what he saw, but it was really fast when it grabbed Phil, and he says it's hunting them. So now Dom believes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Dom keeps saying that he doesn't want to die, and Luke tells him that he will not leave him. Dom asks Luke if he's going to come back, which he does. He tells Dom that he thinks he found the way out. He asks Dom if he thinks he can move his legs, and he says he can move a little. Dom asks for a piggyback ride, but Luke tells him he's afraid that they're both going to have to run. And Dom says he just needs a minute, like, to prepare.
Yeah. I can't believe he asked for a piggyback ride.
Hey, it doesn't hurt to ask. All they can say is no. Unless you're at work, and then they can tell HR.
I'm like, I could say a lot worse. I'm just kidding.
All right. That's where you say, I'll give your mom a piggyback ride. Just kidding. So they're going to go on three. On three, neither of them move. But then eventually they do move. Luke is holding Dom to help him along, and they hear the creature looking around for it. When it pops its antlers from up high in the trees, they start running faster.
Yeah, scary.
They make it to that path of the small fires that are lit, and Dom drops to the ground in pain. Luke helps him back up, and they look through the trees to see Phil's body's hanging there up in the tree.
Oh, yeah, it is. His body is impaled into, like, multiple tree branches. So bad for him.
Well, hopefully he died fast. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like he was nice the whole time.
Yeah. Dom starts yelling Phil, and we hear the creature coming. Luke encourages him to move. They make their best pace along this path where they get to some houses, screaming for help. Luke looks up from his angle, which is upside down, and he sees someone's knees that look like an antler with two torches and some carvings on the wall. When he looks the other way, he sees someone in boots, and one of those kicks him in the face, and we fade to black.
Yeah.
Now Dom is telling Luke to wake up, and he finds himself in a house, and they can hear the creatures outside nearby, and it also sounds like people are chanting above them. Luke is able to push some dirt, which separates these boards, which forms a hole, even with his hands tied behind his back. And he's able to see outside. He can see that people are building some kind of altar thing.
Yeah, it was weird because to me it kind of looked like it's not a cross, but it looked similar to. And it's on my tattoo. It's a rune symbol that looks like a Y with a lion inside, like in the middle of it.
Like if you took the circle off the peace sign and flipped it upside down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that one. I forgot what it's called.
You're good. The door opens, and two men followed by an elderly woman come in. They bring a pitcher over to Luke and give him some water to drink. Mm-hmm. She looks at his chest wound and then shows... Well, I think it is too. I think they want to keep him alive, but not Dom.
Yeah, because he's wounded.
So she sees his chest wound, and then she shows him hers, like a similar scar. Then she walks over to Dom, and she doesn't give him any water. Luke begs them to give Dom some, but they just walk away. The two men go and grab Dom. They bring him to his knees outside the door and hit him over the head with a tool, causing him to bleed. Luke hears that they take Dom upstairs and do something to make him keep screaming. As this is happening, another woman holding a lantern comes in the room with Luke. She's whispered to him that they're preparing his friend for sacrifice and it'll be over soon. And she covers his ears so he doesn't have to hear his friend suffering, which is, I guess, nice.
Yeah, it's as nice as you can be when that's what you're believing.
You're going to kill your friend, but here, you don't have to hear it. Let me just cover this issue. Sometime later, Dom is brought back, and his face looks really bad. Luke asks him if he's going to be okay, and Dom starts telling him about the dream he had that night. He dreamt that these were people were offering him to that thing, and he saw his dead hands gripping him. He says he then saw his wife, but before he knows it, he is going to die there. Luke tells him that he's going to die, and Dom says that he knows he will, but tells him he needs to get out of there, and when he does, he needs to burn this place to the ground behind him. He tells him to never stop until he's free, and to get to his wife to tell her he tried to get back to her.
Yeah, that was really sad.
So now it's dusk, and we see that two men are bringing Dom to that post. It's getting darker, people are gathering, waiting for the creature to arrive, and inside, Luke is trying to get free of his bindings. Dom starts yelling his favorite Jennifer Love Hewitt movie ever line, which is, "What are you waiting for?"
It's so funny.
I had to put that. I was like, come on, that's already used, guys. Inside, we see that Luke is cutting his wrist pretty badly, and he prepares to break his own thumb to get loose.
Oof.
As the creature roars, the cultists all get down on their knees. We watch as the one woman that covered Luke's ears, tilts her head slowly to the right, even though they know they're not supposed to look at them. She seems to want to.
Yeah.
Then Dom sees the Gale come out of the woods wearing a white sweater, so that might be a clue that this is not real, because how are you going to keep that clean through the forest?
Yeah, honestly.
She walks up and is caressing his face. He blinks and he's able to see the creature, and he screams.
Yeah, and it sounds like the creature is like laughing, like kind of like, I can't do it. But like, no, I'm not gonna try. Sorry, but it does sound like
Jamie
the creature's like
can't
laughing. Not like this.
That's funny.
It's kind of like a clicking kind of sound, but it's just like.
There's the title of the episode. Jamie can't laugh.
Yeah, there you go. As I laugh
Luke
throughout the
looks at the hole in time. I know, right? What does he mean?
Yeah.
Luke looks out of the hole in time to see it take off with Dom into the woods, and we see Dom shoved into a branch in a tree, holding him up by his sternum.
Yeah, the monster is not even eating them. It's just, like, I don't understand why they're sacrificing people to this monster, because usually I'm like, oh, sacrifice it for energy or food. You give it something to eat. And this is just like, I just want to play.
I think there's some creatures in mythology that just feed off of fear. And so maybe the fear keeps him in power.
Yeah.
That could be it.
It could be, yeah.
The nice woman comes in and brings him a bowl of food, places it on the floor. Luke asks if they're going to take his body down, and she tells him they don't move the bodies. He asks what it is, and she says it's an ancient god, one of the Jotun.
A Jotun.
Thank you. I knew how to say it when I watched it, and then
yeah,
it's been a week,
yeah.
right? The Jotun. One of the Jotun. She looks out to see if anyone's nearby before whispering that it is one of the bastard sons of Loki. She says that they don't say its name. Luke says that it's because they are afraid of it, but she says they worship it, and that it grants them the ability to live beyond their normal lives. No more pain and no more death.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Some of these people, I think, are supposed to be, like, over 100 years old. That's why all the weapons are, like, 100 years old.
Yeah, that's why it's so old. Everything is so old. And, like, I don't know why I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Dang.
And so she tells him that the ritual begins tonight, and she tells him that it's a privilege to worship, and that Luke will kneel before the god, and if he doesn't, the god will hang him from a tree. He can barely see the mark on her chest, but asks him why. She tells him that pain is great, which seems to mean like the suffering from Rob's death is what made the creature signal him as worthy of someone that worshipped him, because he suffered a lot.
That's insane. So this thing just wants, like, people who are miserable to offer up non-miserable people to him so they can live longer in their misery.
Yeah, it's kind of rude, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's kind of messed up.
Misery loves company.
Yeah, it sure does.
After After she leaves, he gets up and paces a bit, trying to work up the courage to escape. In the next room, he sees an altar before seeing another room with a lot of rifles, lanterns, and other supplies. So he doesn't grab any here. He moves to look for an exit. He sees an elderly woman walking back in, so he stealthily moves up the stairs. And I don't know how he did this while stairs creaking. I can't even walk in a brand new house without the stairs creaking in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Anyway, he gets upstairs and he sees a door with ruins on it. He grabs a torch before going inside. And inside seems to be a cult church with rows of bodies facing a skeleton in the front. And the closer he looks, it looks like these bodies that look skeleton like are still alive somehow, even though like some of them are mummified, some of them have shrunken heads.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So he grants Dom's wish and starts igniting these mummified, bony people on fire.
It's so funny to me because he looks like he's so confused. As like one of them starts lighting up. I was a little confused. I was like, and then but he also looks just as confused as I am about why is this person lighting on fire all of a sudden when he's the one doing it. But I'm also wondering why he didn't start with like the guy who's sitting in the throne, like the skeleton guy that they're all facing. But I don't know. It all burns down anyways, I guess.
So this fire spreads to the house, which catches it on fire. And on the stairs, he sees the elderly woman. He punches her in the face, knocking her out. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and she made no sound at all. He just like, boo, and just silence. I thought that was hilarious.
So those bodies that he was burning, they all start screaming. The other cultists start getting their attention. He runs to grab a rifle, which is a Kabiner 98K. He has to look really hard to find 2 shells to load it with. Outside, the cultists drop to their knees, most of them covering their faces, but that nice one still does her look to one side thing. So the creature grabs her because she dared look at it.
Yeah.
Luke loads the rifle and comes out to find one of the followers in his path. So that guy speaks to him in another language, and Luke tries to fire, but it doesn't work. As the guy gets closer, he's messing with the rifle. The rifle eventually goes off, sending the guy flying backwards. And so he works to load the one remaining round. Another guy comes in holding an axe, and the other guy isn't looking at him, but he drops the axe, which to us, it's a bad sign because the guy gets on his knees and closes his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Luke goes for the axe, and he turns to see the body of a woman suspended in air, that one that was nice to him, before it falls because the creature drops her.
Oh, and then it shows his human hands, the ones that were on the tree, and I can't stand it. It looks like it's a big monster that's just wearing rubber kitchen gloves and just reaching around the door.
Like this little guy?
Oh no!
Can you see it?
Yes.
So for those that,
Oh
because it's an
no!
audio podcast, I got this little hand that fits on my finger from one of my kids' events at like a play. I love this thing. It's stupid.
I love those,
Anyway,
but God, that's horrifying in this sense.
Yeah. So sorry. Now I gotta stop laughing. It bends down to look at Luke, and Luke, thinking fast, runs through another part of the house that's already fallen apart due to the fire. Outside, Luke runs away, but stops when the fire illuminates the god outline creature, which looks like his head is that statue that we saw in that first cabin. His eyes look like they're on the lower part of the body, and just like the statue, there's the elongated neck and the antler arms. And where the legs should be, they look like human arms are there. That's where we get his hands, and they're so freaky.
It's a mess, honestly. It is so uncomfortable to look at.
So Luke uses the only other round he has left and fires at them, which makes the creature drop the woman. Luke runs, and it chases after him. After a bit, he seems to be lost, and then he looks, and he finds himself where the liquor store is again in the middle of the forest. The creature roars is coming up, and Luke runs through the liquor store, and we're seeing like how the path is illuminated by the fluorescent lights that shouldn't really be there.
Right.
It's shot really cool.
This honestly kind of reminds me of Oculus, because it kept switching back and forth between the past and the present, and like I didn't think about it while watching it, but that's kind of what it's reminding me of right now, like just talking about it. It's
Sure.
crazy, but it's so cool. Like interlocking both of them, I guess.
Luke gets locked down. He sees where the axe has landed. It's near the edge of the forest. He gets up and the creature's behind him. He slowly walks away and the creature comes to grab him by lifting up his face. The creature whispers something in language he doesn't understand before dropping him to the floor and making him kneel before him. Luke looks up to see the creature standing tall as if he's celebrating his victory. And
Oh,
in
and it
act of
looks
defiance,
so
Luke
cool.
stands himself up again.
Yeah, I thought that looked so
When he's standing up
awesome.
there, the creature?
Yeah, like when it slowly like lifts all the way up, and it's like not just the hands that it used to grab him, but then like his front legs kind of stand up also, and it does look pretty graceful, but also entirely terrifying.
Yeah. So then the creature shoves him back to the ground, holding his head down. Luke again sees the axe and he grabs it and stands up, looking at the creature in the eye again. The creature roars at him and Luke swings the axe, landing in his head. The creature backs away in pain, giving Luke time to run. Up ahead, he can see the end of the forest where the morning daylight is visible. He runs out and falls to the ground outside the forest. He stands back up with the axe ready, and the creature comes but stops at the edge of the forest because it seems like the creature can't get out of the forest. The creature roars and Luke roars back. They repeat this for a bit. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and Luke definitely gets the last roar. He roars twice at the end. And I know it seems a little insane, but I feel like that was amazing for him and it probably felt so great because he actually did win over this creature, this giant scary monster god.
So then it's daylight, and Luke's walking towards a road where we see a car being driven. He looks bloody, but he is alive, and the credits roll.
Yeah, and now Dom can't say that he didn't even have any blood on him because he has blood all over him
Well,
and he
Dom can't
fought
say
so hard.
anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty funny.
Oh. Anyway, this kind of reminds me of A Dark Song,
Oh, I
because
think I've heard of that, but I
in
haven't
that
watched
movie
it.
too, it's so good, Jamie. It's like it's definitely a movie I hadn't heard of until Joseph recommended it. A little bit of the research I did was that the cult worship an ancient Norse creature, the Jotun or Moder, is his name, I think, and that he's supposed to grant immortality for those who worship and sacrifice for him.
Yeah, a Jotun isn't actually like the name of a single person. I think it's like a type of kind of like you have like, oh, here's a Cyclops, and then a Jotun is like it's a species, I guess. But I don't know that much detail about that.
I thought Moder might be his actual name, though. I'm
Oh,
not
I don't
sure.
know. To me, I was like, that sounds like how would they say mother, but I also don't really know.
Oh, yeah.
So when I was looking up, I was trying to look up the thing about like that if there is like a folklore story about a giant like elk type creature. I couldn't really find anything. And I know that the nice woman, she was saying that he is the bastard son of Loki. And there is one bastard son of Loki that is like a horse type creature named Sleipnir. He's just an eight-legged horse, but he's not he doesn't really match the story either, so I don't think it's that bastard son. But looking into it and how it is based on an actual book by Adam Neville, the author of the book says that this monster is actually based on a Lovecraftian creature called the Black Goat of the Woods with 1,000 young. I'm gonna skip saying his other name because it doesn't sound good. But if you search the Black Goat of the
You're not
Woods,
wrong.
that'll
Yeah.
bring up the rest. But it's, that's how it's pronounced, and I just don't want to say it. Uh, but I think that is really interesting. I watched a brief thing about the Black Goat of the Woods, and apparently it's not a creature that's ever seen in H.P. Lovecraft stories, but it is talked about. But I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting.
Yeah. Well, that is definitely a rabbit hole that I'd love to go down sometime. Stories based on H.P. Lovecraft stuff are fascinating to me. I know that his author's controversial. I mean, he's been dead a long time. He wrote
Yeah.
100 years ago, right? So people during that time were different, right? But
Very
his
different.
mythology is really good, and I love learning about the mythology. I love when people make movies based on this mythology. I think it's fun,
Hmm.
and I have played a lot of board games that are based on H.P. Lovecraft's mythology. Like there's Elder Sign, which I love, and
That's
they got
cool.
Arkham Horror, the card game. Arkham Horror, the board game is insanely long. It's so good, but yeah, you could get wrapped up in these campaigns that'll take you months to play with your friends, and then they have awesome replayability. But it's come out for so many years that you could start today and play for a decade without repeating a storyline. I think, which
Dang,
is
that's pretty
amazing.
insane. That's cool.
Yeah, and then I have friends though because there's so many different versions of board games. Like
Hmm.
one board game that I play called their Cthulhu expansion the obligatory Cthulhu expansion, meaning like if you have a board game franchise, you have to make one of them about Cthulhu. But board games that are based on the mythos itself, I have friends that even though I mean I was their friend, I wasn't in these board game nights, but they have a board game thing that they do every week where they would try to do one game after another to play like through 8 different types of board games that were all based on the Cthulhu mythos or the
Oh
H.P.
wow.
Lovecraft mythos. And if the character died in the first game, they had to have a different character by the second one. And if they get to the last game, there's no characters left, then you can't play anymore. You've lost, which is crazy harder
Oh,
than it should be because you're just making it
yeah.
harder for no reason.
Just for the fun of it.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you think about it? You liked the movie, you said, right?
Yeah,
Is there
I
anything
did
that
really
like
like it.
made you want to cover this one the most?
I think just the like I love forest creatures, like forest monsters and like folklore type stories. I love that. I like foresty creatures. That's about it.
Okay,
But
cool.
like there's another book well, yeah, I guess this is based off a book. There's a book I read, I think it's called The Ruins, and it's kind of similar to where it's like it's not a forest obviously, but it's some outdoor type thing. It's mother nature that's in the book. It kind of is like mother nature fighting back against people. To me it's just super interesting. I love supernatural horror stuff, I think.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Next week on the podcast is Infinity Pool with Jesse. Thank you, Jamie, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And we have episodes every Monday. Please like and subscribe, leave a review on your podcast app of choice. And bye.
Bye bye.
Don't take any shortcuts.